remain the same. Firstly, to bring home all 132 remaining hostages, still brutally imprisoned by Hamas in their terror dungeons. Secondly, to destroy Hamas militarily and politically. And thirdly, to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel. Today, we here in Israel begin our challenging remembrance season with Holocaust Martyrs and Heroes Remembrance Day, Yom HaShoah. Today, Israelis commemorate the 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust by Nazi Germany and their collaborators, and for the Jewish resistance in that period. In the words of the Prime Minister last night at the opening ceremony of the Yom HaShoah, Israel's National Holocaust Memorial, Yad Vashem, in Jerusalem, I quote, 80 years ago in the Holocaust, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against those who sought our destruction. No nation came to our aid. Today, we again confront enemies bent on our destruction. I say to the leaders of the world, no amount of pressure, no decision by any international forum will stop Israel from defending itself. As the Prime Minister of Israel, the one and only Jewish state, I pledge here today from Jerusalem on this Holocaust Remembrance Day. If Israel is forced to stand alone, Israel will stand alone. But we know we are not alone because countless decent people around the world support our just cause. And I say to you, we will defeat our genocidal enemies. Never again is now, end quote. Next to our fallen soldiers, IDF fatalities since the start of the October 7th massacre have unfortunately risen to 612. The people of Israel grieve with the families of First Sergeant Reuben Mark Mordechai Asulin, aged just 19, from Ra'anana. First Sergeant Ido Testa was 19, from Jerusalem. First Sergeant Tal Shavit was 21, from Kfar Giladi. And Sergeant Michael Rosal was just 18, from Rishon LeZion. The Hamas rockets that killed these men were fired from Rafah, targeting the Kerem Shalom humanitarian crossing, a crossing that facilitates aid deliveries on a daily basis, aid that the civilians of Gaza count on. Rafah is where our IDF soldiers have yet to enter. It contains the last 4 Hamas battalions. These soldiers left their families and their loved ones to defend our nation. All 4 fell fighting Hamas in Gaza yesterday. There are no words of mine that can assuage the terrible pain for their families. May their memories be a blessing. Next, an operational update. In recent hours, the IDF has informed Gazans in eastern Rafah to evacuate temporarily towards the expanded humanitarian area. We have made Gazans aware through flyers dropped, SMS messages, phone calls, and media broadcasts in Arabic. The text of the flyers is available from the IDF website. They call on residents of certain specified neighborhoods to relocate to specified humanitarian safe zones because the IDF will be operating against the terrorist organizations in these areas. For their safety, the IDF urges them to evacuate immediately to the expanded humanitarian area in the Al-Mawasi area. Warnings have also been issued that Gaza City is still a dangerous active combat zone and to avoid returning north of Wadi Gaza. Warnings have also been made to stay away from the eastern and southern security fences. The IDF announced the expansion of the humanitarian area in Al-Mawasi. The area will spread from Dir al-Bala in the north and up to the south and in the east to the center of Khan Yunis. A map has been provided. In these areas, expanded humanitarian aid will continue. Gazans have been alerted that the IDF will continue fighting the terror organizations, and we have made Gazans aware that Hamas seeks to use them as human shields. In Rafah, the IDF is not an army that seeks to conquer and occupy. Ours is an army that seeks to liberate Gaza from Hamas. Next, an update from COGAT on the influx of humanitarian aid. The amount of humanitarian aid going into Gaza has significantly increased and continues to increase. In recent weeks, close to 100 food aid trucks traveled to northern Gaza daily, which was previously thought to be a problematic area with food, with the international community and UN agencies in Gaza. In talks between Israeli and UN representatives, including the World Food Programme, none of them indicated a risk of famine in northern Gaza. They noted that the humanitarian situation is improving and that there is a variety of goods in both warehouses and markets in the north. Markets in the north and the south are bustling. Noting the improved situation, international organizations stated last week that the volume of goods transported to northern Gaza must be reduced. I'll repeat that the volume of goods transported to northern Gaza must be reduced since the quantities are too high in relation to the population. Israel has established various aid routes, including airdrops, the maritime route and land crossings to deliver aid to Gaza. There are currently 2 crossings for aid delivery to northern Gaza and 2 in the south, with over 350 trucks entering Gaza daily. 350 trucks entering Gaza daily, mostly carrying food, enough food for all the people, for all of civilian Gazans. The issue has never been about getting aid into Gaza, but getting aid to the civilians of Gaza who need it the most before it is looted and stolen by Hamas. So, more food and enter Gaza every single day. Food, water, medical supplies without limit, and shelter. The humanitarian aid arrives at the Gaza Strip by sea, by air, and land. So that's the end of our briefing today. I will now take your questions, which you should put in the chat with your news outlet. Thank you very much. First question, please.
May the Rafah evacuation be put on hold or reversed if the hostage release negotiations make progress?
So I didn't quite hear that question. Could I ask you to repeat it?
May the Rafah evacuations be put on hold or reversed if the hostage release negotiations make progress?
So again, I didn't. Perhaps if you turn that speaker off, I'll be able to hear the question. The speaker over there. Speaker there. Just repeat the question if you could. Thank you.
May the Rafah evacuation be put on hold or reversed if the hostage release negotiations make progress?
Thank you. I believe that's a question from Dan Williams. If the Gaza negotiations will continue and if it will affect the operation in Rafah. Dan, thank you for that question. So, look, we have stated many, many times that the Israeli government is committed to do whatever it is that is needed to get our hostages home. We want our 132 hostages home. 37 of them have unfortunately, 37 of them have unfortunately been killed by Hamas. So we will do whatever is possible to bring our people home. And I mean that, whatever is needed to bring our people home. Next question, please.
Did Israel inform